Haunt has a remarkably familiar plotline to it, something I've seen before. Most notably, I think last year I saw Fright Fest, or American Fright Fest as it may have been known, and that had a similar plot. And this is basically about a group of college kids who decide on Halloween to go to a haunted house. But wouldn't you know it, this haunted house is filled with killers looking to dismantle their bodies in as much bloody fashion as they can possibly do. But this is a little bit more polished, a little bit more finished, and there's a little bit more finesse about it than Fright Fest. As we meet the characters, I kind of warm to them. None of them are stand out as great characters, but they all seem fairly nice and fairly decent. There's one kind of abrasive one, but he's not overly obnoxious and in your face. Most of the girls, thankfully, don't seem just your typical bitchy kind of friends. They're actually rallying around a friend who's having a bit of a bad time at the moment, and they want to kind of break her free from that. They get a kind of love interest for our main character, whose name I didn't really take much notice of because, well, it just wasn't that kind of movie where I had to take notes of names. I just knew who was going to be the final girl, as you kind of do in these movies. And the romance is kind of sweet at points. You know, it doesn't seem overly manipulative like most things. It just seems like the beginning, the flourishing of a possible relationship to come. And they end up finding themselves at a haunted house, almost by happenstance. You know, they're looking for one to go to, they spot a sign. They don't take any notice at the fact that it's off the beaten track in a warehouse with no other kind of lights or people or anything round about it. There doesn't seem to be any more cars in the car park than just theirs. And they go there, and wouldn't you believe it, the people outside, the clowns who are dressed up, don't speak, act a little bit weird and funny, take all their phones off them, and then they are pushed into this house of horrors. And from then on, us the viewers know exactly where this is going. We're just being a little bit patient and waiting on it getting there. There is a terrific scene as they go through this haunted house, which I must say, just a sweet little sidestep, it was really interesting, really well done up. I liked the set design in here, how each room or each part they moved into was completely different from the part before. You kind of get a geography of how it all leads in because they go back and forth a few times, so you kind of know what's coming next and how they're going to get to it. Sometimes they circumvent it a little bit by adding in a trapdoor at some point, and it just freshens things up, and I kind of like that. But back to this scene that I really loved at the start. They go into this haunted house. They see a woman lying the other side of a fence who's crying and screaming and asking for help, and someone comes across and stabs her, and the curtains close. And it's all part of the show. But we know there's something not quite right. Someone's just been murdered and they're cheering it on, and they are going to be the victims to come. And it's a slow build of playfulness that has the movie kind of working for me. I enjoyed the way it kind of built up the tension and kept giving you fake outs. It knows the viewer is already more aware than the characters are, and it doesn't treat us like idiots. But what it does do is it teases us, and I like it when movies particularly do this. They put the characters in peril. They have them putting hands down holes, and now us, we're waiting for something to happen. It may not this time, but they continually play with that notion before letting things ratchet up where it hits a really bloody finale. And I liked it. I liked the idea of the people behind the masks who we get to see at certain points, and why they're doing what they are doing is alluded to, but it's not given up in some big maniacal bad guy speech. It's just hinted at through some of the conversations that we see. I liked some of the traps that we get drawn into as well. I felt they were effective and fun. The movie's well lit, it's well shot. I loved, like I said, the production design all around the sort of maze of horror that they are in, how it tackled various different kind of horror movies. You had a kind of forest, you had a crate, you had a warehouse scene, you had a maze. It was all kind of fun environment to be in. The characters, although none of them were truly, really engaging, I enjoyed and didn't dislike any of them, and it was unfortunate to see some of them being dispatched. It's generally a fun movie. I don't really have too much to say because it's not great in the echelon of horror movies, but it's perfectly well done, and sometimes that's all we want. As we go into the Halloween season, which is starting to run up now for me, we're in mid-September, we're getting closer to October, this is something that I can suggest checking out. I think it's pretty fun. It's pretty inventive, and I really enjoyed it. I'd love to know your thoughts on Haunt. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man vs. Film.